Nicholas and Dennis Tuttle in January. But now the feds have rolled in and charged the two former cops who have previously been charged by the state with the deaths of the couple. A secret indictment was unsealed Wednesday with 9 counts against Goins and Bryant. The charges specifically range from witness tampering, falsifying records, and civil rights violations. Both were arrested by the FBI today. Here to offer up their opinions is Houston community activist and radio host Dr. Abdul Halim Muhammad, criminal defense attorney Oliver Brown, and Sherry Dorr with Black Lives Matter Houston. I want to welcome you all to the Factor Uncensored. Doc, let's begin with you. To see the feds come down on these officers and what we've heard from people, defendants in the past, I've been set up by a police officer, but no one would ever believe them.
I have a whole bin full of letters. Everyone writes me just about they're innocent and that. But what makes me suspicious about this whole thing is that a William Barr-led Justice Department, with all of the black lives that have been lost by police misaction, now they come down with these civil rights. This is a Department of Justice that goes into court and fights against our voting rights and our civil rights, but now they come down on these policemen on their civil rights. Now they may be
really quick, for those who are watching on Foxo and who may not be familiar with this case here in Houston, you're talking about the victims here were white.
Well, you pointed that out. I'm just pointing out the fact that I'm suspicious of the timing.
Okay, Oliver Brown. FBI now investigating. They have both been charged, indicted. Indictment unsealed today.
Well, first of all, I'm very happy about the FBI stepping in. I think that they've kind of undercharged these individuals, I believe, but it's very interesting to see that they have pulled off the issue with this 911 caller. But today, one of the things that I want to make sure that's very clear, we keep talking about cops and bad apples. That's why I brought a batch full of apples here. And what I did is I injected one with poison, okay? And if I offer you right now, how many of y'all will sit there and eat one of these apples if you know one has poison in it?
I will not eat.
You will not.
No.
Exactly. And so the thing that I'm tired of hearing is that we keep talking about there's only, a few bad apples. So we take a couple apples out of here, right? And you're like, oh, maybe I got the bad one, right? However, when you're dealing with the African-American community, if you're saying there's only one bad apple in the bunch and they dealt with the bad apple, how are they going to trust any of the other apples, i.e. the other police? And so, to me, I think that we need to start getting back to figuring out what is the issue with the police department. When we have police officers now setting up just average white Americans, then imagine what's happening in the African-American community. We have to find which apple is the poison apple. Because guess what? If I don't trust any of the apples, I'm never going to eat one.
And we got a message from an individual who lives here in Houston, and we spoke to him, and he said this about Officer Goins, who was known as Batman. He also said this about him. He's been doing it for close to 30 years. He terrorized Sunnyside, South Park, and Third Ward for decades. It's plenty of people with records that shouldn't be. And, of course, he's saying that this officer charged them when they shouldn't have been charged. This officer now is essentially a proven liar.
Right.
When you hear stuff like this, Sherry Dorr with Black Lives Matter, your thoughts on this? Now the FBI is involved, and now these families couldn't get some justice.
Right, and I'm happy, again, I will piggyback off of Mr. Brown here, that, I'm happy that this came through, and we finally, to me, they were undercharged as well, but, we'll take what we can get when it comes. But I think that a lot of this is, if we don't start holding police officers accountable for things that have been done, I'm sure that Officer Goins' record is not so clean.